Welcome back to Bazzar Repairs! Guys, I am very excited about today's video. Today we're going to be building a Chia cryptocurrency farming machine. And why are we building that? Because apparently it's green, and I'm all about going green. But let's back up a little bit and figure out, what is Chia? Chia is a new green cryptocurrency that uses proof of space and time instead of proof of work or proof of stake. And how does it do this? It does this by taking a hard drive and using your unused hard drive space as the consensus method. You basically install a little bit of software on a PC, and then it will be used to go onto the network and know that that space is unused, and then it can use it to create blocks for you. And when you create blocks, you're deemed a farmer, and you can actually create what's called plots. All this stuff is new, but it's very exciting to me, and I wanted to jump in as soon as I could. So I bought everything in a rush, did a little bit of research on Chia. I just want to get it up and running and going, and then we'll see. And you also get rewards if you do create blocks. Now, the bigger the hard drive space you got, the more chances that you can actually receive a block, which is really cool. So I have two 10 terabyte drives that I bought, were like $300 a piece, I believe. So not cheap, but I definitely want to try to get some blocks going. And I want to show you guys how I do it. So with that said, let's show you guys everything that I bought. I'll link the article that I got all this from in the description, and then we'll get it built, get the software installed, and we'll go from there. Stay tuned. Alright, so hardware. We're going to go with an MSI Intel motherboard, just because I didn't want to do AMD, because I would have had to buy a graphics processor, which I spent all this money. I should have, but that's fine. So that's where we're rolling with Intel. I got no problems with Intel, even though I am starting to like AMD a lot better. So that's the Z490A Pro motherboard. Next, we got two 10 terabyte Seagate hard drives, the X10s. I think these things were $300 and something a piece. They're very hard to find right now. Thank God for Newegg. We got a Sabrent M.2 4 terabyte. This thing is also really good and really expensive. Next, we got a 10th generation Core i9 processor. Intel, you know, very reliable, really good. Corsair 64 gigabyte DDR4 RAM. The Dominator Platinum RGB, so that should be plenty enough, maybe two more than we even need. And last but not least, we have the Corsair power supply 750 watt RM750X. Oh, and sorry, the case, I just got a Fantex case. You guys will be able to see that when I open up everything as well. I got this case because of the additional hard drive slots I can have up here, so just in case I want to add more drives to this, if I'm making a little money or something, maybe I can add more hard drives, so without needing to build another one. All right, so with that said, oh, and my thermal paste, got to go get that at the house. I had left that at home, but let's start getting this thing built up. All right, now that we've got the motherboard out on top of its box, we're ready to go. So I ran home for no reason, because it looks like there's already thermal paste pre-installed on the Intel cooler. We're just going to go with the stock one. Like I said, we're just not going to be gaming on this thing or anything like that. Just used for Chia. It will be a dedicated Chia machine. All right, so this is our Intel i9. So we're going to get this opened up and installed there. I'm sorry for the lighting. I just want to make sure. Let me get a better angle for you guys. Just want to make sure you can see. Okay, perfect. All right, there you can see a lot closer there. So let's just get this lifted up. So if I ever remove this CPU, then I'll have to throw thermal paste on, but I won't need it for the first application, which is cool. A lot of people are starting to do that now. Because there's not a lot of people that keep thermal paste on them all the time. Now, as you guys probably know, there's a notch on one of these sides here. Alright, so you can see that there's the little dot right there, and then we have our little dot there. So that should be the direction that we're going to place it. Make sure it sits in there perfectly fine.
looks good. We'll just go ahead and close this tab. Perfect. All right, seated in place, just like so. All right, now let's get our DDR4 Corsair Dominator RAM installed. All right, let's just get all these out of the way. And I never know which way these go. It's this way, it looks like. And I'm wrong, always, always. Okay. Sweet. Sweet. Jeez, that's the RAM, the quality of the RAM. Damn, Corsair, you made some damn good RAM, I'll tell you that much. Just the casing feels great. If I can get it out of the casing. 3, and last but not least, and this is once again 64 gigs of Dominator RAM. All right, all 4 in. All right, so let's go ahead and install our M.2 here. So let's just remove the 2 screws. Get the case off. Little shield here. All right, comes off just like so. All right, so. The case, wow, yes. So that's a 4 terabyte. Favorite M.2. Let's get that out. Slide in, press down, and I'll get the screw for that right now. Alright, make sure it's tight, but not too tight. And then we'll go ahead and take the cover off and place the screws back on. Just tighten one side, I'm sorry, just get one side threaded in, oops, and then you can get the other side threaded in and then tighten both. Alright, so let's get the fan installed now. Okay, now that the fan is in, you can orientate this in any direction you want. I probably should have flipped it the other way, but I wanted the Intel sign to be straight up. So let's just get those pressed down. Okay, so it looks like all 4 are pressed down perfectly fine. you can see I can grab it from there. Those things are snug. Then just get the CPU wire in, CPU fan wire, and awesome. We are good. All right, let's move on to putting this thing inside the case. All right, so I got the faceplate installed. Let's go ahead and throw in the motherboard. Set this right. Perfect. So I got those aligned right on their holes. Make sure you can press down and nice and firm. Now we'll get the screws, put the screws on, and then we'll install the power supply. Alright, so now I'm going to speed the video up while I put these motherboard screws in. So you'll just, I think 3 on the top, 3 in the middle, 3 on the bottom, something like that. It's about 9 of them or so. And just get them in nice and solid. And before you put the motherboard in, make sure you get the component faceplate in first. I didn't want to show that here. I was just trying to cut the video down. It's already pretty long. But get the faceplate installed. It's like the HDMI cover and stuff like that. Just put that into the motherboard first. Then go ahead and throw your board in. With these screws, make sure they're tight, but not too tight. You don't want to crack the board. And do make sure, my case already had the like extender pegs pre-installed. If yours don't, make sure you put those in first. You don't want the board grounding out, touching the back of the frame. So this is just common standard practice. Make sure you use a non-electric screwdriver as well. Try to make sure you get a screwdriver that has a magnetic tip. That also helps quite a bit. Okay, so I'm just first putting in all the screws, and then once they're all in, then I go ahead and tighten them around at different points. That way you know the board is evenly distributed. Perfect. So I'm just checking, make sure everything's nice and tight, and then we can go ahead and move on. Alright, now I'm just going to throw in the power supply here. This is a modular power supply. I highly recommend getting a modular power supply so you can only use the cables that you need. And like any other power supply, you're just going to slide it in place and connect the 4 screws at the back. And I don't have a magnetic tip, or at least it's slightly magnetized, but yeah, that definitely would help using a magnetic tip. Alright, so once the 4 screws are in, you're pretty much good to go here. You just do the same thing, lock them all down. Then just make sure they're all nice and tight. And these ones you can tighten up a little bit more if you'd like. Alright, now that that's done, I'm just going to go ahead and install both 10 terabyte hard drives into their slots there, and just attach their cables. So I'm just starting with the power cables here. And you can see I have many more hard drive bays that I can install. So I'm definitely have 2 more on order. So I'm going to end up with 4 right now. Well, 2 today. I'm off camera. I'm going to do 2 more. And I think my board has a total of 6 SATA connectors that I can use. So I'll probably end up maximizing all those. And I can also use the external hard drives if I need to on the top slots there. Alright, now I'm just getting the motherboard power cable in. Sorry the motherboard's so dark. I didn't have a light on me. So yeah, we're just getting the power cord in, put in through the top there, and then I'll just bring it through the bottom. And the Fantex case is absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal with those straps there. Velcro straps pre-installed really helps out. So we'll just flip that around, and then we'll just get that installed into the power supply. Perfect. Okay, next up is the data connections for each hard drive. Same thing, just get those plugged in and then wrap those around to the motherboard and plug them in there. And I think, like I said, I think I have 6 SATA connectors on the board. I'll have to check again to see. But however many I have is going to be what I use definitely. So if it's 6, I'll use 6 there. You definitely want to try to get as many hard drives as you can, so you can try and make more blocks. Okay, so now I got everything on. I didn't show the last couple things I did. I was just trying to shorten up the video, but there was just a power supply connector at the very top. That's all I had to do. And the little small things like the power cable, all those are easily found online. Like I said, I'm trying not to make this video too long. After that, I went ahead and just installed Windows. Just go ahead and put a flash drive in on Windows, install that. And now we'll move over to installing Chia. Alright, so to install Chia, just go over to chia.net on your browser. And you can use this for Windows or Mac, and I believe Linux as well. I wish I would have known that you can do Linux. Earlier I would have used Linux, but for this video we're going to do Windows. So you just click on the button that says install Chia blockchain. And then you see Windows, Mac, whatever. We're just going to go over to Windows. And you're just going over what it says here. Just reading what it's saying here. Alright, so you just click on the button that says Chia blockchain Windows and let that download. And just like any other Windows installation, just go ahead and click it when it's done. Or you can right click run as administrator. Perfect. Alright, now you're just going to go ahead and allow access through your firewall. This should pop up 2 times. Perfect. Now you can create a new private key if this is your first time. Import, or you can delete all keys. It's my first one, so I'm just going to create one. And here you'll have your mnemonic phrases. Make sure you take a picture of these or write them down, and then print the picture out and then delete it off of your phone. Or just write them down. I blurred these out so you guys don't see my phrase. Then after you're done writing them down, just go ahead and hit next. Allow the firewall access one more time. Now here's where the blockchain is going to start syncing. It does take a little bit. This can take hours to sync, and it could also take a little bit just to even start up. So just let it sit. Don't close anything. Mine started syncing after a couple minutes. So you can see right now it started syncing, and you can see it's got a ways to go. So you can just go ahead and let it sit, or you can go ahead and start creating your plot. I went ahead and just let it synced up a little bit more, not fully synced, but I just let it go a little bit before I started creating the plots, which I'll show you guys next. Okay, so before we fully sync up, I just want to show you guys with those new hard drives we put in, we're going to want to basically initialize those and assign them a drive letter, or they're not going to pop up. So this is a step you're going to want to do. So you see it says disk 0 and 1 needs to be initialized, and you can use GPT, that's fine. So you can see I hit OK here. And then the spaces are unallocated. Alright, so after we initialize, we want to assign it a drive letter as well. So you're just going to go ahead and click on the disk, the one that says unallocated, and hit new simple volume. Hit next. Just check the space, make sure it's maxed out, and then hit next again, and then assign the following drive letter. and then you can select whatever letter you want to assign. And as you guys know, I have two 10 terabyte hard drives, so one of them I'm going to assign as Y. And then you can do a quick format, that's fine. NTFS, that's fine. Then just click finish and you'll see it. There it goes. So the new volume Y is there, so that's perfect. And you're going to need to do this before you start assigning your plots, so make sure this is done. So we're going to do this for the second drive as well. We'll assign this one the letter Z. Hit next. Same thing, next, next, finish. Perfect. Alright, now our drives are assigned and we can actually go back and start. Just actually check and make sure they're there. And I am going to create folders on each one just called Chia. These will be for the final. You'll see this later when you're creating your plot. You want folders already pre-set up. You can set these up any way you want. This is just very basic. Alright, so it's set up for Chia. Alright, so now we're going to go back over to the Chia application. You see we're still syncing, and that's fine. We'll go over to plots, add a plot. And the plot size, K32, you can just leave that there for now. And the plot count for myself is going to be 6 for this build. Yours may be different. And I'm going to go ahead and plot in parallel and set the delay to 10 minutes. This is all per the article that I read. I may change these with time. And then the temporary folder must be the SSD. So that's just the SSD, the 4 terabyte one. And I created a folder file for that as well. And then one of the drives, one of the 10 terabyte drives internally is selected. So one temporary directory and then one final directory. And those should be separate. Then after you're done with that, you're just going to go ahead and hit the button that says create plot. Just make sure everything's good and create plot. Now, this is going to take like 6 to 8 hours, and after you're done, you're just going to come back and do it again. And I'm going to show you guys one more time how to do it, what it looks like when they're finished. So just get set, and then we'll be right back. Alright, now we're back after, I don't know how long that took. I actually let it sit all night long and came back in the morning. So we're just going to go over to plot, and you can see where it says farming, 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 farming. So those are good. They've finished. So we have 6 plots ready to go. And we can go to add a plot, and we can start another 6. Same thing. We'll just leave K32, plot count 6. We'll plot in parallel. We'll set the delay to 10 minutes. Set up a temporary folder location on the SSD again. That's cool. You can have 2 different temporary folder directories. And just make sure that you do not accidentally select the wrong hard drive for the temporary location. I can see that happening if you're moving too fast. And then go ahead and hit your final location again. And then cool. And then check everything over. And then go ahead and hit create plot. Now, you'll start your plotting all over again, and you're going to keep doing this until all the hard drives are filled up. Alright, and with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video today. I'll probably try to do a follow-up video because it's going to take me days to get these plots filled up on my hard drive. So let's just end this one today. You guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll try to do a follow-up video, and let's continue this journey of trying to get the blockchain to go green. Have a good day. See you on the next one.